welcome to this live. Alright, this is a energy reading for the lunar eclipse happening today. I believe it's 25th of March, 2024. After going over the chart and just meditating on a little bit, the main messages that I'm hearing for this lunar eclipse is are fated meetings and karmic scales being balanced. So this could have to do with karma between well, most likely karma between relationships, but more specifically, I feel like, yeah, it could be all levels, but especially emotional and like financial even. So maybe like money that was owed to you or has been owed to you is finally, those karmic scales are being balanced, and what's meant to be yours is now coming your way. But it could also be an apology, for something that happened a long time ago even. I mean, it doesn't have to be a long time ago, but the thing is we have, why I say fated meetings is it's in the sign of Libra, which has to do with relationships and people and how we relate to others. It's harmony, balance, but the vertex, which is this point, apologize if the camera's shaking a little bit, it's very windy, but I gotta have the windows open. It's a pretty warm day here in Indiana. The vertex is another point that's used in astrology, and some call it like the second ascendant or rising sign, but it has a lot to do with karmic, destined, fated meetings. I might have to roll these windows up just a little bit. Okay. And so the vertex is conjunct, meaning blending with the moon. And yeah, it's just like strong possibilities for fated meetings. And it could be people that you are already met in this life. It could also be soulmates, people that you knew in past lives, or even brand new people that you have a soul contract with to meet in this life. So any of those are on the table. And to kind of reiterate that energy, we also have Venus in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Both are exalted in my book in Pisces. So really positive energy. And Pisces is very much a past life kind of energy. And those two planets that are conjunct, meaning blended right now, are in conjunct the South Node. And by association, also the vertex, because the nodal axis, the lunar nodal axis, is always involved with eclipses. And then Chiron is still conjunct the North Node, so it's involved by association as well. So we're still healing a lot of traumas, personal traumas, but also traumas with this eclipse associated with relationships. So again, the karmic scales that are being balanced could just be an apology that is long overdue. All right, so with the chart out of the way, the astrology chart, I'm going to go into the cards. Today I'm using the Psychic Tarot, and with that Pisces energy involved, I haven't used this deck in a while, but I use the Oceanic Tarot because it's very Piscean. And then since karma is really involved with this, well, really all eclipses, but especially this one with Libra, I'm using this karma cards deck. All right, so let's go into the Psychic Tarot and see what comes up. First, please clear this deck. Call in Archangel Michael for divine protection around this space, and I ask that the messages that need to come through are aligned with what people need to hear, and that I can get those messages out clearly. All right. This one right off that one come out. Oh, we got 2. 3. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. Spiritual union, triumph, and balance. So yeah, like I know I've heard some other people talking about this eclipse already, like a lot of twin flames, divine unions coming back together, and even though I am a twin flame myself, I've had to really detach myself from a lot of the twin flame stuff because it's just kind of where I'm at in my journey, and I've learned a lot, and it's just very easy to get all wrapped up, and it can be easy to get back into the mindset of like depending on your counterpart and losing yourself in that connection again. Like the twin flame dynamic is all about finding yourself, because your counterpart is essentially you and another human being. So it's really more about focusing on you rather than the other person. And anyways, my point is that I take a lot of the twin flame stuff that pops up my feed with a grain of salt, just because it's just very complex and complicated, and it really just comes down to divine timing, and also the fact that your counterpart still has free will, so they still have to choose and want the union as well. So anyways, I say all that to say that I think I have to agree with these other people that have been talking about this eclipse that a lot of twin flames are coming into union. And that could look different for each dynamic. Well, it's going to be different for each dynamic right off the bat. But what I mean specifically is that for some couples out there, they've already been in union energetically speaking. Technically, it is an illusion because we're always united with our divine counterpart because they are you. Again, it's the same soul incarnated in 2 bodies, but in this context, I'm talking about energetically, like your energy bodies and your physical bodies. So a lot of people have been doing reconfiguring their energy bodies to be able to come into physical union, and so those people are very possibly going to see physical unions. And then the others are now beginning the union process at the energetic level. I mean, from the time that you met your twin, you've been working on that. But what I'm saying is that you're completing that energy body integration process so that the physical bodies of the 2 twins can follow and integrate and then be able to come into union, because even though technically we're always one, we still have our energy bodies and our physical bodies that have to be able to integrate the energy so that you can tolerate being in physical union, because it's like a major process. You know, it's very intense. For, you know, anybody who's been on this journey knows that. So when I say union, yeah, there's kind of like, I mean, there's those two groups of people. There are the people that have already finished up the integration of the energy body, and so now they're ready to be physically reunited, you know, in union together. And then there are the people that have done enough of the inner work, the shadow work. They're now beginning that energy body process, which then the physical reunion will follow later. So yeah, I feel like Spirit wanted me to differentiate that there's two groups of people. So whatever resonates for you, um, that's what I would say is going on with these cards. And even if you don't feel like you're reuniting with your twin during this time, you know, with this eclipse physically, I'm hearing still celebrate the fact that you've done enough of the inner work to be able to begin the energy body process, because it is the next step to physical union. So, reunion for some that I've already met. Okay, they're telling me that there is a third group of individuals slash couples that, with this eclipse, and again with that vertex involved and being in Libra, there are some people that have not met their twin yet in this life, but they're going to with this eclipse. So that there is a third group. So whatever resonates for you, that's what I'm hearing with these cards. And it's a triumph and a celebration, no matter what stage you're in, to celebrate. And you are working towards, or have already found balance, or in the process of finding balance within yourself. So if you have any questions, you can always message me, comment. So let's move on. What other energies around this lunar eclipse in Libra? So the energies to the collective need to know about, Spirit. So the karmic implications, energies. That's interesting. We got the Mars card because we do have Aries energy involved, since a lunar eclipse is like a more powerful full moon. It always involves two signs, a pair of signs. And so we have energize, confront, force yourself to. So I'm hearing with confront, this lunar eclipse, for those who this resonates with, it's bringing up a lot of deep traumas, and again, Chiron's involved as well. And the collective's been healing a lot of major trauma just with Chiron conjunct the North Node already, but this feels like a huge major potential quantum leap shift with this lunar eclipse. If you can confront those deep traumas and pains head on, and face them like a spiritual warrior, kind of like Mars. And even though it's Aries energy, I'm hearing more Mars and Scorpio. Mars and Scorpio is kind of is very much like a spiritual warrior type energy, going within and fighting those kind of inner battles. But with it also, being Aries energy, there could be more practical or physical type things that you need to confront. So maybe it has to do with boundaries with people. Could be a lot of different things. So that's what I'm getting with this card is confronting those deep traumas and maybe certain individuals or just certain things in life where you need to set up boundaries. That's what I'm hearing with that. Okay, let's go into that Venus, Saturn conjunction in Pisces, aspecting this lunar eclipse, being involved with this lunar eclipse. Let's get some more context on this energy, please, Spirit, from the Oceanic Tarot. We need to hear from the Oceanic Tarot about Saturn and Venus conjuncting Pisces. I will say how I interpret exaltation, which is called a dignity or considered a dignity in astrology. Traditionally, a lot of astrologers will kind of interpret it as almost like another comfy sign for the planet to be in, kind of like their home sign or domicile rulership. But I interpret it as it's very positive, but it's stretching the planet to its limits, but in a very positive way. So it's bringing out the best that the planet has to offer. So I do want to clarify that and point that out. So we have the Seven of Pentacles and potential. So with the Pentacles involved, that's Earth energy, and I mentioned how the karmic scales, one of the scenarios of the karmic scales be balanced could be monetary or financial matters. Maybe you've been waiting on a settlement or a certain case to be settled, or even just doesn't have to be even official in an official capacity, but there's some, for some of you, there's a certain amount of money that is due to you. For some of you, maybe you've been putting a lot of work into your passions, or even like a small business that you've started and it's finally about to pay off. And with the 7, I'm hearing like 7 months. That's the current timeline trajectory. Now, it's nothing set in stone, but that's just what I'm hearing. So within 7 months, you could very likely see this karmic scale balancing happen. So that would be what? October? Yeah. With Pisces involved, Pisces, associated with past lives. This could even be something that was owed to you, a karmic debt being carried over from a past life as well. Especially with Saturn there as well. Saturn rules karma, past lives, so with the sea turtle there, they just kind of go with the flow. So I'm just hearing, which is a very Piscean theme as well, is don't try to control how this karmic scale balancing is, how it's going to happen. Just let it flow and just surrender it to the universe, basically. Allow the universe to handle it. So yeah, that's what I feel with that. And I mean, also here, don't underestimate your potential. Don't underestimate your value either. Make sure if you do have a business or you have a service that you promote, you know, that's how you make a living. Don't undervalue yourself. Make sure you are charging what you are worth. And again, in Piscean theme, you can meditate on that, because not necessarily what the world says is what you should be pricing yourself at, if that makes sense. Like, go within and trust what spirit, your higher self, is telling you to charge. All right. I think I'm going to close this out with one last card. What are some closing message or messages that you would like the collective to hear, Spirit? Okay. Transformation. Yep. Lunar eclipses are a lot of the time about sudden endings, sudden, unexpected changing of events, you know. Therefore, it's a form of letting go and having to let something that has been, you know, long expired or on its way to being expired, to let it go and let it transmute into something better. So to tie in with the twin flame dynamic, there could be a hearing for some of you, you are in, you know, a relationship, and maybe it taught you what you need to know, lessons. You could call them karmic relationships, but that's just really a label. I'm not saying that's for all of you, but for some of you, you could be in a relationship, and this lunar eclipse is asking you to let that relationship go because you deserve better. And we all have our own contracts, soul contracts, and we all have our own dynamics that we set up with our twin. But I would have to say that all twins set out to reunite. So ultimately, that's what our soul wants. And when I say reunite, I mean physically. But it's not, nothing's guaranteed, you know. We all have free will once we come down here and incarnate. But yeah, so ultimately, I would say do what, obviously, you know, do what resonates with what you feel is your highest good. But I'm just saying that for some of you, you're in relationships that are no longer serving you, and Spirit is asking you to let go. But it also could be jobs, it could be lots of different things. So just, again, go within. Even if you could take 5 minutes to meditate on this today, this lunar eclipse. I would say even the next, we're going to still feel some of this lunar eclipse energy for the next 2 or 3 days. Take the next couple days to meditate on what needs to be transmuted and let go in your life. And I know it's not easy. It's never easy, but man, once you get to the end of the tunnel and once you've gone through that chrysalis stage and you first emerge and you experience that new rebirth, that new you, that new version of you that is your highest timeline, and more aligned with your higher self, man, it's so worth it. It's worth it. Every ounce of pain that you had to go through to get there, you know? All right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up there, and hope this resonated, and I would ask that you like, share, and subscribe. It really helps to support my channel. Also, again, if you have any other comments, concerns, questions, feel free to comment down below, or wherever on the lives. I'm not sure if it's down below, but yeah, anyways, I wish everyone well, and I will see you next time. Take care.